Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm G&G and this is episode 97 of the University Challenge, and today we have our end of season review for season 7. The 2028 season is done and dusted. 3 trophies showing up here: the league trophy, which we won comfortably enough, the All-Ireland Cup that we won at the end of the season against Linfield, and the President's Cup that we won at the start of the season. So 3 trophies, some highlights, some disappointments, but we'll get to that in this review. And we'll start off with the new arrivals into the team at the start of the season. And it is shown here that our signing of the season is Felix Romeo, our goalkeeper from Everton. Not sure I agree with that, to be honest, as season signing of the season. You can let me know in the comments if you agree with that, but I probably wouldn't have him as the signing of the season, but he has had a good season. He gets a B from the board. He played 24 games. Was a good option for rotating the goalkeepers when we had to, and he definitely is someone with a lot of potential. 7.0 rating, average rating, good season for him. My signing of the season will be Will Lancashire. Brilliant signing, I think, from Everton too. 150,000, 24 starts, 23 sub appearances, 32 goals, 5 assists, a 7.14 rating, an A+ from the board. I thought he was brilliant. Really gave us a second option as a striker, meant we could rotate the strikers and not see a drop. And yeah, really good signing, I think, and he will be my signing of the season. But as I said, let me know in the comments who you think would be the signing of the season, Lancashire or Romeo. Next up we have Eduardo Sottini, who I think at some phase in the season I called Edward, but Eduardo Sottini. Signed him from Melbourne City on a free. 28 starts, 17 sub appearances, 8 goals. He's a real threat from set pieces, 7.11 rating, and he was a great option at centre back. He allowed us to rotate for games without any issues, and he was a great addition to the squad. Next up we have Kanye Bonavie from Toulouse for £10,000. Real bargain of a signing. Took over as number 1 when Pickernell left. A+ from the board. 31 starts, 1 sub appearance. He came on in the game we sealed the title. 7.11 rating, and really good. Nailed down the number 1 spot. It is a battle between him and Romeo now for that number 1 spot next season. Romeo developing well and may take it over eventually, but for now Bonavie has been an excellent signing. Liam Ravenhill comes in next from Linfield, 375,000. 23 starts, 23 sub appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists, a 6.85 rating, a B from the board. I was a little disappointed with Liam. Didn't nail down a starting spot. When he did come in to start, he didn't play brilliantly. He was actually better coming off the bench. He would come into a game and affect it. So that's something we may have to look to, that we need to bring in midfielders. But Liam could be there as a backup or as an impact sub type player, because he can pull off some brilliant assists as he did all season, but just not enough consistency. Maybe a second season settled in the team he will improve. Next was Gary Shaw. He came in on loan from Hull City for the season. 37 starts, 5 sub appearances, 3 assists, a 6.75 rating, which is low, but then defensive midfielders are always rated lower. A+ from the board. I thought he done well for us. Signing him may be an issue because of the fee Hull want and also the wages he wants, but we'll definitely try and sign him, maybe extend his loan. We'll see what we can do in the off season. But Gary Shaw was very impressive this season and an important part of our team. In terms of players who went out, Casper Nielsen is one here showing up. That's a deal that's been agreed. He came back on loan to us, but he will leave now at the end of this season. Daniel Steedman left, long serving midfielder, went to Linfield, didn't have a place for him in the squad. Only a D from the board for this deal, 145,000. And he made 27 starts for them, 2 goals, 7 assists, 6.99 rating. Daniel Law's done well for us, but we just had no place for him in the team. Young winger Odalo left on a free, D from the board from leaving on free. 16 starts, 1 goal, 1 assist, 6.89 rating. Luke Molyneux also left on a free. He went to Bray Wanderers in the first division. 29 starts for them, 5 goals, 4 assists and a 6.86 rating. So he done well enough. Gregor Siklic going to Gothenburg, B- from the board for this deal. He came back on loan for the season, didn't play that much actually. Only 9 starts, 6 goals. I wish he had 6 goals. He had 1 goal, 1 assist and a 6.83 rating. He leaves at the end of the season now. Kean Murphy went to Bohemians for 91,000. The board not happy with that, but I'm pretty happy because he made 17 starts but only scored 5 goals. A couple of them were against us actually during the season, and a 6.73 rating. Definitely happy to have sold him on. Young striker Sefner went back to Germany for 93,000. 25 starts, 7 goals, 6.72. He was never going to make it into our team, so it's good to get the money in for him. Alex Dunn left on a free to Cork City. He's made 34 starts and a 6.59 rating, so he hasn't done well in the Cork team this season. Garrett Ledwich, young centre back, we'd already agreed a deal to sell him to Longford last season, and he went for 42,000. He made 32 starts, 1 goal, and a 6.55 rating, so not a great season for him. There's a young Polish winger who left to go back to Poland on a free. He made 17 starts, them 4 goals, 1 assist, and a 6.52 rating, so he didn't get on too well. And then the big transfer out was when Pickernell left at the start of the season. Andre Pickernell left, his release clause met by Real Zaragoza, and 600,000 came in, but sadly he left. Such an important player for us. It was really sad to see him leave. But I'm looking here, and he hasn't actually played yet in Spain, which is a bit disappointing when you think how good he was. But maybe he's going to develop. A couple of loan players out. Sebastian Mason, it was a player we bought in and then loaned out to Cork to help him develop. 21-year-old defensive midfielder. He made 32 starts for them, 2 goals, and a 6.71 rating. He will be back in our squad next season and will probably start a lot of games. And then Sean Brennan went to Waterford mid-season on loan and made 11 starts for them, but only a 6.66 rating, so he didn't get on too well there. So that's the season's transfer action looked over. Let's look at the results for the season, and we start with the league, and it was a comfortable win in the end. Won it by 30 points, broke the points record, the goal difference record, the wins record. Just a comfortable season for us. Only a B- from the board. I'm not sure what else they want from us, but yeah, won the league comfortably 3 in a row. Will Langshire was our top scorer with 20 goals in the league. He played a lot of games towards the end of the season, but he also played a lot of games early in the season when we were rotating the squad, and scored a lot of goals when he was in the team. We go to the Champions League. This was disappointing for us. Knocked out in the third qualifying round by Strada, who did go on to make the league phase, so at least there's that, but disappointing. Knocked out in that epic penalty shootout and didn't make it back to the Champions League. Something we hopefully will do next season, season 8, is get back to that league phase. Europa League, we did make it through. We beat St Gallen in the playoff round, made it through to the league phase, where we have played Marseille, lost to Marseille, beaten Sofia, beaten Vitesse, lost West Ham, lost Rennes, and beaten Astana. So as things stand, we are 16th in the league phase, 9 points, and look like we have a chance of making the playoff round with our games to come at the start of season 8. All-Ireland Champions Cup, we won that quite easily, beating Linfield, as I said earlier, 2-1 in the first leg, 3-0 in the second leg, and we win that competition again. Sadly, we're knocked out in the second round of the FAI Cup by Shelbourne. Disappointing defeat for us, an E from the board for that, and we haven't won that competition now in 2 years, so hopefully next year we can make a run in the cup and get that cup back in our hands. Leinster Senior Cup, we won the Leinster Senior Cup, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we won the Leinster Senior Cup, beating Bohemians and in the final, and won that again. So next season we start off against Talca Rovers. C from the board, happy enough to have won that, and yeah, good to have won that. And the President's Cup we won at the start of the season in a classic against Shelbourne, a 5-3 win on the first competitive domestic game of the season. And that is a President Cup we have dominated, and we won again this season. Moments to remember: our biggest win was a 5-0 win over Shamrock Rovers. Rhys Evans with a hat-trick, Sartini and Ravenhill with goals too. That was early in the season. Match to remember, with beating St Gallen in the first leg, I think that was, of the Europa League playoff, and 4-0, and that made sure we were going through to the league phase, which we are currently still in. And goal of the season goes to Malonga for the President's Cup, and we will now take a look at that goal. So here we go, the goal of the season from Malonga. It came from a throw-in that was headed away initially. Andy Appin played it down to Ravenhill. He played it back to Andy Appin. Malonga took the shot, curled it into the top corner. Fantastic strike from Malonga. Goal of the season, definitely one of the best ones we had. And that started off his season, goal scoring wise. He is unhappy at the moment about not leaving, but let's hope we can retain him, because he's become a really important player who scored a lot of important goals. And that was his goal of the season. Look at the finances now. Our reputation is up at last. It's gone up a bit. It's gone up to 2.5 stars, and that should help us to get better players in and for our support base to grow and greatly improve our commercial revenue. So it's great to see finally a reputation boost up to 2.5 star, and hopefully that will continue to grow now. No new sponsorship deals. In terms of revenue, our sponsorship was up, our broadcast revenue was up, our corporate and hospitality was up. Competition prize money was down. That's because we didn't make the Champions League. Match day revenue also down, same reason, didn't make the Champions League. Merchandise, the most popular shirt sold was Rhys Evans, then it was Lancashire, Malonga, Trevitt and Farizai. So all important players, probably Ryan Trevitt is a bit of a surprise there, but all important players in the squad and all players who should be staying on. Hopefully Malonga we can convince to stay on. A look at how we lined up this season based on I think ratings, and if we look there, it's mainly our strongest team. Sotini gets in there at centre back alongside Jones. Sloggett gets in ahead of Shaw because he got a higher rate for the lesser games he played. Dennis Nolan gets in on the right ahead of McLennan. Dennis had a good season actually, and he will be pushing maybe to start ahead of Colin McLennan. It's somewhere I'd be looking to strengthen is on the wings. We'll get to that later in the video when we're talking about the squad. But that is our strongest 11 of the season. And let's look at the accolades for the season, and we'll start with mine. Won Manager of the Month 4 times throughout the season. Didn't win Manager of the Year, which despite cruising the league, but I think because St Pat's had such a good season, their manager won it, and I'd be happy enough with that because St Pat's came from lower down the league to finish second, so probably deserved for their manager to win it. Player awards, Malonga wins Player of the Season, he wins Young Player of the Season. Signing of the season, we already said, is Romeo. Goal of the season, we've seen that with Malonga. Top scorer, Will Lancashire, 32 goals this season. Most assists, Dennis Nolan, 18 assists. As I said, he had a good season. Most player of the match awards goes to Will Lancashire with 10. Highest average rating, Malonga, 7.3. And most passes completed per 90, Harvey O'Brien with 88. Record breakers this season, most player of the match awards in the season goes to Will Lancashire. Most league goals by player, Tommy Lonigan, still at 103. That's 103 league goals for Tommy Lonigan, didn't play much this season. Highest transfer fee received was that Pickernell, 605,000. And fastest ever goal was 17 seconds by Rhys Evans early in the season. Brilliant to score that early. Rhys Evans breaks that record for us. And yeah, we look at quotes here. UCD were among the favourites to become champions and showed why when they turned on the style midway through the year. Yeah, we definitely had a brilliant run through the year of winning games. There's the 3 trophies we won, as I mentioned earlier. And once UCD got rolling in the middle of the season, it looked hard to stop them going on to success. And we did that. So yeah, that's the season review. We'll not look at the dynamic time, we never do. So that's the season wrap up. Yeah, it's been a good season. Disappointed by the Champions League, have to say. There's Ryan Trevitt just has been put into our overall best 11 squad. There is the best 11 team still. Keith Murphy still up front. Kanate is still in goals. No one there from the first season at all. Sean Brennan, sorry, is there. He's from the first season. And yeah. So yeah, that's the season review. The league won quite easily, and we move on to the supporter profile. And excuse me, the hardcore is down a bit to 6%. Our core is up to 25%. Family down to 28%. Fair weather fans up to 13%. No corporate and casual at 28%. Our social media has grown by 26,000, which is good to see. And there's what the fans want next season, and that's all stuff we should be able to do. They still want to avoid relegation, despite the fact we've won 3 leagues in a row, so they're not asking for much. And we look at the club vision, and it is just the same as it's been. Be competitive in the Champions League. We'll hopefully do that, win the league, and keep doing that. So we will accept that current vision. And squad dynamics, we look here. Tommy Lonigan, Nico Jones, and Greg Sloggett are our team leaders, and plenty of influential players there too. We will go to the end of season meeting and see, can I become a legend in their eyes yet again? It's been a great season and they're all done well. Brilliant. Go away and hope we now do it again next season. And they love that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Go count themselves in the Europa League. And yep, they're happy enough with that. And no promises until you come back. And yep, they're all loving that. And off they go to pre-season, thinking I'm a legend as always. They just love me. So yeah, that's the season wrap up done. Just some little things there to clear. And transfer offer for a young South African midfielder we have of only £2,500. You can go away with that. He's worth more than that. So reject that offer. So I was going to talk earlier about our squad. I am going to do a bit of an overhaul of this squad in the pre-season. Some players want to leave. Players like Lamb, Malonga, Barres all want to leave. Hopefully they'll change their mind, but they may be sold if I don't want unhappy players here at the start next season. So that may be positions we have to bring in new players. So that'll be a centre back, a centre midfielder and a left winger. Other positions we need to strengthen. A right back has to come in because Casper Nielsen is leaving. I'd like to get another centre back in, even if Lamb stays. Probably another left back to give an option with Andy Yappin and Ledwich. And then centre midfield, defensive midfield. Yeah, definitely need some backups there. Even though Mason is coming in, probably need a second one. Greg Sloggett probably leaves at the end of the season. And then left wing, if Malonga stays, I'd like to get someone in to be his competition. And yeah, we just need to, I think, build more strength in the squad. Some players who are our backups may leave, like Casey McAteer. Trying to think who else may go. Casey McAteer, Harvey O'Brien might go. Ravenhill, if we got an offer, I'd probably sell him, even though he's only here one season. Yeah, I just want to strengthen the squad to give us more options and get us into that Champions League. If we can bring better players in and make people who are starters now the backup, that would be great too. But yeah, we just need to develop this squad and make it stronger and freshen it up, to be honest. And let's get it to the Champions League again, and hopefully 4 titles in a row. So that's the end of this review, and I will go now play the pre-season and do the transfers and all that, and we'll have the next episode will be the pre-season of season 8 preview and review of the pre-season and preview of the season, and see how we got on in strengthening this squad. If you did enjoy today's episode, please drop it a like. It'd be great to get more likes and more people to see it. If you want to join us on this journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you won't miss any videos that way. Videos are posted Monday to Friday at 6 PM Irish time, and subscribing is the best way not to miss anything. If you want to catch up on anything we've done, there is a playlist on the channel, and it does appear on the screen at the end of this video. So until the next season, when we will be previewing season 8, please take it easy.